Hello, and welcome to the Advanced Log Movers course. Now that I have learned how to move logs with ease, using proper technique and mastery of physics, I am prepared to show you my inventions so that you may use them someday to move your own lumber. As we know, there's a lot of lumber out here. There's a lot of trees in the forest. And if you cut them down and get them to a sawmill, you can make a lot of wood. Save yourself a lot of money. But getting them out of the woods and moved a long distance is the hardest part, and not a lot of people will register that or think about it very often. And doing it with machinery, it works. It's expensive. There's a lot of maintenance. Machines break. Machines fail. However, I am showing you a way that you can do it with just your body and mastery of physics. So, stay tuned. We've got a lot to learn. And by the end of this video, we'll get all these suckers moved up the hill. Now, before we move the logs, I think it only best I showcase my invention first. This right here is the log dolly. And I'm gonna break down just exactly how I made it. So, crafting this thing took a little bit of ingenuity, but also I sort of just used what I had lying around. This tongue right here was its own piece welded together, and it's pretty heavy metal. I then welded on this bar and this set of teeth here to help grab the logs. And as you can see, I put a wheel on each one, just its own little axle, just to roll back and forth. And then in the middle here, you've got a bolt that offers motion up and down, side to side. There's a bit more flexibility in there, and that's very key. It serves as an axle point and a shifting, maneuvering, turning part of this unit. Now, that bolt goes into a block of wood, and that block of wood is secured to this ladder that I had. I think it's a camper ladder or something. But this ladder serves as the extension. And this is what the logs mainly sit on. And luckily, this ladder I had was pretty well spaced apart so that it fit inside a furniture dolly. A regular old dolly used for moving boxes, appliances, regular this and that. And this is kind of an older one. It was definitely handmade. I didn't build it, but I was able to repurpose it for this use. See, it's got kind of a cup in here in the basket, and it's got a good end plate the logs can sit up against. Now, I had to take off the wheels, those little small dolly wheels of the original unit, and I welded on a new axle here. As you can see, I secured it to the body of it with a few attachment points. Not pretty, by no means. Not going to win any beauty contests, but hey, it works. Then I spaced it out, put some electrical tape around here. And on the other side, just simple connection, and they've been doing pretty good. They won't move, they'll just roll back and forth. They just go straight. And this little thing here didn't really cost me anything to build. And yet, it's all that I need to move logs. And something like this, just about anyone could make. All I needed was a corded drill, a welder, and an angle grinder. A couple bolts, 4 tires. Had to salvage that axle, and then bam. So, let's see this thing in action. Now then, once you've cut down your log, and you've cut it to size, here comes the tricky part. Getting it through the thickest part of the woods to your trail. And hopefully on that trail is where you can pull that log dolly the rest of the way. Now, if you want to just do it this way throughout the entire woods, it's possible, but I can't guarantee it's going to be easy. There's a lot of crap out here in the woods, a lot of stuff you can get caught up on, but we'll make do with what we can. I only have to pull mine probably 20 feet here till I get to the cart. So I have a strap, and what I'm going to do is just strap around one end of this log. It's not a very long strap, but it's all that I need. Now that I've got that, see, you pull the log up. If it's a really big log, you might have to use a different technique, but this is mainly just showing you how you can get them moved through the woods, even in tight spaces. So I've got another log here, and this one is just pretty small. This is what I call a roller log. And if I get it on the roller log, and I can grab the strap here and pull it towards me. Using that log as a rolling device and also a bit of a fulcrum, a pivot point. Turn it on, to twist it to get it adjusted to where I want. Then I can pull it some more. Pick it up, replace it, and keep going. Okay, I've got it to the trail. I've got the log to the cart. Now what I did is I was able to use that strap to lift the front end of the log on those teeth on the cart. And with the size of this tree, I could just squat down and pick up this back end here and lift it on. But I want to show you a couple other tools of the trade that you can use to help maneuver and manipulate logs up and down, this way and that, and help them get on your log cart. Now this first one here is called the timber jack, and this is a great little tool for pulling logs up off the ground. This part here grabs around them, and then you're able to use this pivot point that touches the ground to lift them up and get them up off the ground. And this other one is called a hookaroon, and it's got that hooked point on top, and that is used for pulling logs. Much like a strap, you can use this to pull on the end of the log on your roller logs and maneuver them through the forest. And I've found good use with both of these, and they all have their uses, what they're good for, what they're not good for. So I'm going to demonstrate how I can use this jack here to get this log onto my cart with ease. Imagine it's a lot heavier than this one actually is. So I got it hooked around, got the base on the ladder. You can just pick it up. You get the idea. Shift this thing into place. Then comes strapping it and moving it. That's the most fun part. Now I want to be frank with you for a second. This tool right here caused great harm to me because I wasn't being careful with it. I was pulling up a log onto this cart just yesterday, pulling on it like this, and I wasn't in the right position. I was pulling on the corner on the edge of the log like this, pulling upward, and it slipped. And it got me, the top of this thing, it got me right in between the eyes. You see that? See that bandage? There's 3 stitches underneath there. And I'll probably have a scar from that. So you gotta be careful doing this stuff. You really gotta be careful. That was a good lesson. I really didn't expect it to happen that way. So this stupid tool damaged my face right in between the doors of perception. And if you want to be safe doing this, take it from me, be careful. Just be careful. Be slow in your movements. Be intentional. Wear gloves. Wear protective clothing, footwear, all that stuff. All it takes is 1 second, and next thing you know, you're driving to the hospital. So just be careful, you know? We can still have fun with it. See now how I pull this thing. Pool noodle, rope. Easy as that. How do I strap it? Got that same one in the front. Attached to the thing. Keeps it off the ground. Otherwise, that thing might dig in a little bit as I'm going here and there. Further down, I've got a belly strap. And that just keeps it attached to the ladder. No big deal. And then in the back, ratchet strap. A little bit of pressure to keep that thing locked in place. So, it's all good to go. Let's see this thing in action. See, I can pull it with relative ease. Not even hard. Now then, I've pulled the log to the base of this last little hill. And the sawmill tent is right there. But this hill, unseemingly, is too much for me to pull it up on my own strength. Not worth it at the very least. So, I'm going to share with you my one last physical secret that can be used to move any load uphill. And it's a very simple system that has worked for eternity. This is how the pyramids were built, mind you. It's called the pulley. Now I have a pulley here, attached on an anchor point between two trees. And this pulley, using a very long rope, I can pull it out. See that? Keep pulling it out. Bring it all the way down to my cart. Hook that on. This part here, just going to undo this little stopper knot and tie it off on the other end. A couple overhands will do. Now, this device you can get at any climbing store. It's a belay device, a belay tool. And it's what I'll be using as a stopper, so I don't lose my progress as I pull this thing uphill. You can hook it onto the belly strap. Just like so. All right, time to show how this works. Okay, ready to go. I would highly recommend wearing gloves for this part, lest you prefer to have rope burn and extreme pain to your hands. So, to begin, this loose rope is the end that I'll be pulling on. Now watch. Pulling a great deal of rope for only a couple inches of distance at a time. And that's how the physics equation works out. With several pulleys, even someone who's pretty weak can do it. If you were to add more pulleys, it'd be even easier. So, since I've made it this far, I don't want to lose my progress. And that's where this little belay tool comes in handy. Now, I've got a stopper. I can stop this thing from falling back down the hill. And when I'm pulling with my hands, the end of this cord will just be on the ground with my foot on it, just in case. So, the process goes as follows. Pull a couple feet, get that rope out of the way, get it up there, and then my belay tool. that extra slack. Now, if it were a light enough log, I could even just pull on the belay tool and lift it up that way. But it takes a little bit more effort than is worth it. And this is a technique that can be used for really big logs. So just a quick rundown. Pulley up there, pulling towards that pulley. And this right here is my stopper. This thing is just a climbing belay device. And it just stops the log from rolling back downhill and losing all that progress. Because I got to pull a lot of rope to pull it just a little bit at a time. So, if I take this rope, put it down here and step on it, and I can take my pulling rope, even one-handed, pull it up a few inches at a time. Get that thing up there, and then it's kind of hard to do while holding my recording device. Just pull that rope through my stopper and repeat the process until satisfied. Ta-da! There we go. I got it up the hill. So I could have used that stopper, that belay device, if it were a really heavy log, like this one, or something a little denser or wider. This one was light enough to where I could just pull it up in one go. It's no big deal. However, that pulley right there can be used in a lot of different situations. Not just for pulling it up the last leg of the journey. I can pull it up long stretches of uphill. I can use it to pull logs through the woods, through the thick part, the hardest part. And you can pull 30, 40 feet with a 200-foot rope, and then just reset it, reset your anchor, pull it back out, go again. Easy peasy. So, I hope that you learned something today. I certainly learned something, and I wanted to share it with you. So, thank you for watching, and I'll continue work. This will be siding. It's finally warm. Get a lot done. 1 year later, a lot of progress has been made. We're getting so set up, getting really advanced now. Well, anyways, thank you for watching.